Many thanks for joining us. Here are the business stories making headlines at this hour. I am Omobolanle Adeshuyi. The federal government will generate about 160.4 billion naira from excise duty on telecommunication services in 2023. According to the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, the combined revenue of operators in the GSM, fixed wired, and internet service providers was 3.2 trillion naira in 2021. If the government implements its 5% excise duty on telecom services, it will generate about 160.4 billion naira. The amount, however, assumes that the revenue of the telcos would be static, but in real terms, it could either be higher or lower, depending on economic fundamentals in 2022. Recall that the federal government disclosed the plan to implement a 5% excise duty on telecom services in the nation. However, the Minister for Communications and Digital Economy faulted the plan, saying it didn't follow due process. And the federal government has announced it secured a $134 million loan from the African Development Bank, AFDB, to boost wheat production. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammed Mahmoud, who disclosed this, blamed the Russian invasion of Ukraine for the acute scarcity of wheat. Furthermore, the minister revealed that with 250,000 farmers cultivating 250,000 hectares in the 2022 dry season, the initiative would raise wheat production to 750,000 metric tons. He said the wheat would be cultivated in Jigawa, Kebbi, Kano, Bauchi, Katsina, Kaduna, Sokoto, Zamfara, Gombe, Plateau, Borno, and Yobe, Adamawa, and Taraba states. He added that the federal government had deployed 5,000 agro-rangers drawn from the Nigeria Civil Defense Corps NSCDC to protect farmers facing security challenges. Recall earlier in the year, the African Development Bank stated that its goal was to reduce the importation of wheat by 40% by 2023, as the support would come under the bank's $1.5 billion Africa Emergency Food Production Facility. And the World Bank has committed $8.5 billion to Nigeria to fund critical issues ranging from agriculture to education. The World Bank Country Director to Nigeria, Shuban Chaduri, disclosed that the amount was the largest of any country. He also noted that it was still infinitesimal compared with the needs of Nigeria, stressing, however, that around $2.5 billion to $3 billion of the fund had been channeled towards education. In addition, Chaduri said the future of Nigeria depended on the ability of the young people to go to school, stressing that it was important to make schools safe to ensure that fewer children were out of school. He further said it was Nigeria's call to determine how it would mobilize its financial resources to enable young Nigerians go to school, or whether its scarce resources would be used to subsidize petrol with over 6.5 trillion naira. And the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has extended a total sum of 19.9 trillion naira in loans to the federal government under its Ways and Means provision as included in the CBN Act. Provisions in the Act cap monetary financing of fiscal deficit at 5% of the prior year's revenues. However, since the government started experiencing a significant shortfall in revenue, it has relied heavily on the central bank to finance its expenditure programs via Ways and Means. According to data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Ways and Means balance at the end of 2021 was 17.4 trillion naira at the end of 2021, but has now risen to 19.9 trillion naira as of June 2022. The CBN has now extended a total sum of 2.45 trillion naira in the first 6 months of the year, on track with the recent year's credit extension. This is almost 5 trillion naira annualized. At about 20 trillion naira, currently the debt to the CBN is 25 times what it was in 2015, an unprecedented utilization of the Ways and Means provisions. And the International Air Transport Association's passenger data for June 2022 shows that the recovery in air travel remains strong, with a 103.6% rise. According to IATA, total traffic in June 2022, which was measured in revenue passenger kilometers, was up 76.2% compared to June 2021. The report states that the increase was primarily propelled by the ongoing strong recovery in international traffic. Globally, traffic is now at 70.8% of the pre-crisis levels, IATA reports. Strong improvements in most markets, combined with the easing of some Omicron-related lockdown restrictions in the Chinese domestic markets, contributed to the increase in domestic traffic for June 2022, which is reported to be up 5.2% compared to the same period in the previous year. Total June 2022 domestic traffic was at 81.4% of the June 2019 level. IATA's Director General Willow Walsh said demand for air travel remains strong. After 2 years of lockdowns and border restrictions, people are taking advantage of the freedom to travel wherever they can. An expert has reacted to the recent increase in the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC'S quota for Nigeria for September. OPEC and its allies had on Wednesday raised Nigeria's oil production quota to 1.83 million barrels per day in September from 1.826 million barrels per day in August. Oil and gas analyst Bala Zakar stated that while OPEC had to increase the quota for its member nations due to the war between Russia and Ukraine, factors are impeding Nigeria's ability to meet the quota. Zakar noted that challenges such as lack of active drilling rigs, moribund refineries, and oil theft have made it difficult to meet past OPEC production quotas, adding that until these issues are addressed, the country may not meet the September quota. He spoke earlier in the day on iBrandTV's Business Breakfast show.
And the reason was very clear. There is energy deficit. There is so much concern because of the hostilities between Russia and Ukraine. The West decided that there was a need to boycott Russian crude oil and gas, and we knew that to a reasonable extent, Eastern Europe in particular was relying on Russia for gas. And if there was that sanction, then the West in particular, or the developed economies, were going to have issues with energy. And the only thing they could do was to turn to cartels like OPEC to see if OPEC was going to accept to increase crude oil production. But Nigeria is experiencing or is having a very unique problem. In the case of Nigeria, as we speak now, Nigeria has not been able to meet up with her OPEC quota for quite some time. Quote me that I said, as I'm speaking to you right now, the total drilling rigs, the total active, let me qualify it, the total active drilling rigs in Nigeria today are not up to 15. And what I mean is this: by the time you look at all the active drilling rigs on land, on swamp that we technically call or describe as shallow waters and deep offshore, they do not have up to 15 active drilling rigs. And if you don't have active drilling rigs that will be drilling to bring out the crude oil from the reservoirs or the formation, there is no way you can meet up with your production volume quota, either for OPEC or even the production volume you require within Nigeria to meet up with the 2022 budget.